Hey, Barren community, Jeff here, and it is time for another little look at 2024. I did a video already on my favorite buys, my top buys of 2024. I thought about doing one for CDs. I pulled my list from Discogs of all the albums I bought. You know, sorted them all out based on the albums I bought in 2024, and I highlighted new releases, reissues, things like that. And honestly, there weren't a ton of CD-only releases that I bought. I don't know if I could garner a full top 10. Because most everything I bought that was worthy of mentioning were on vinyl record. And so, while I have some on CD and vinyl, I don't think there was enough to make an entire video list of the top CDs I bought. Because I really didn't buy a ton. There were some pivotal releases on CD, mostly in the Christian rock realm. The Brave, White Cross, things along that line that definitely are in my top 10, but there weren't a lot of them. There were a lot of reissues. So I went back and looked at all the reissues I bought, and I buy a lot of reissues on CD and on vinyl, and reissues is still a thing, I guess, because everybody's still catching up on vinyl with reissues, and I still buy a lot of them. I almost think I didn't look at this, but I bet you it'd be easier. I probably bought more reissues than I did actual. It's kind of hard because a lot of bands I buy that are bands of yesteryear who have been around for decades, you kind of almost feel like they're older bands, but still they're new albums. But I don't know. I almost think that maybe I buy more reissues or have bought more reissues in the recent past. And then there are just a lot of other things that are not even new albums that you not buying at thrift store stuff. So I decided to do this one where I'm going to look at my favorite reissues, and these are the top 10 reissues that I feel I got. And this list kept changing because there were so many great reissues, and then you look at it and you're like, I really like that one but I like this one better because there were a couple I dropped out because I was really excited to see this album get reissued, but it was already on vinyl back in the day and I already had an original copy, so the reissue was more just a upgrade, maybe giving it to a new audience. And so I thought, some of those I kind of pulled out, and I thought, I wanted to focus more on albums that are more fresh as far as maybe never been on vinyl, things along that line. I think most of these have never been on vinyl. So let's get right into this. Starting with number 10, we got Mad at the World, Boomerang. Now, there were two Mad at the World releases. Seasons of Love is the other one, both of which absolutely phenomenal, but this one inched that out a little bit. I don't want to show them both on here, but this can represent both. Two great Mad at the World albums that were released. These guys, if you're not familiar with them, very, kind of an alt rock, that kind of grungy at times, but not like grunge, but more like, alternative rock type grunge. People refer to them as, each album sounds a little different, so I don't know. I just think they're unique and love them, and they got a new album there in the works right now. I Kickstarter supported it, and they are almost finished with it now, but this is one of the albums from the 90s, and it is great to finally have that on vinyl for the first time. I've had that on CD since day one. Barren Cross, State of Control. Now, this one is, it has been on vinyl in the past. I've never had it because it's really hard to find. I think it's only out in Europe. I think Enigma Records only released it over there because it came out in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And so I've never been able to get a copy of this on vinyl, so that's why this one stayed in the list, because it was great to finally get one at an affordable price. I have all the other Barren Cross, so I didn't show Atomic Arena because I already had that on vinyl, and I did buy the new one, and it's a great reissue, but I already had it, so I didn't count that. But this one I've never had on vinyl. It's really hard to find, and so a reissue of this was really exciting to finally have. Horse the Bud Bought by Galactic Cowboys, another band that was three of their albums, the last three of their first era of albums. They've gotten back together and done an album since then, but these early ones on Metal Blade back in the day, the last 3 got reissued, and this is the one of the 3, the first of the 3. There were 2 subsequent albums that came after this. All 3 are excellent. I pulled this one because this one still kind of, inched out as one of my favorites. Great band. If you don't know them, you should. It's a crime. Go check them out. They got stuff online, and it's a double record set. They did it great. Pulled out all the stops, double record, everything. Great artwork. The artwork is by the bass player. He does all the painting and stuff for almost every one of the album covers. And I was so thrilled to finally get these last 3 of the Metal Blade era Galactic Cowboys reissued. Now we just hope that one day the first 2 albums from Geffen can be afforded to be licensed and brought out. Number 7 is Summer of Darkness by Demon Hunter. It's just another notch in the Demon Hunter belt. There was so many of their earlier stuff not on vinyl. They did the first album, now they've done the second. We've already seen in, probably a decade ago, the 3rd and 4th and 5th albums. I think most of those were released. There's still some in the middle there that have not been released. The latter stuff, as they've put out new stuff, has come out. So there's still a handful. This one is great because it's, again, another notch in the belt of Demon Hunter, but showing that we're getting closer to having all their stuff on vinyl, and it was so great that they did this one. I was so thrilled last year when they did the first album, and I'm sure hoping that they continue these fairly quickly so we can get the rest of the material. So that was a great one that came in this year. Here's one, a little EP thing. Here's Impellitteri, Victim of the System. There were 2 Impellitteri albums reissued. This one and System X that has Guru. That's the one with Graham Bonnet. Is that the one that came out? Yeah, on vinyl. I love Rob Rock era stuff. This is one of the earlier albums. It was an EP, so it got released as a 10-inch, and I was so glad about this. Last year we had 3 other of the older Impellitteri stuff come out, which was great. The year before that, 2022, we had a couple more. So we're seeing them systematically knock out all of the past Impellitteri material, which is so exciting to me. And this one came out this year. Great stuff. A little EP, it's a little 10-inch on a little color vinyl there. Very pretty. I picked up both this and the other one that came out, but that's the one we're showing there. And at number 5 is the Black Sabbath box set. Now, I wanted the box set because I wanted all the albums from this era. Finally, for the first time officially on vinyl, these were released. They have since, later in the year, all 4 of the albums were individually released. So either way, they would have made the cut. Been looking forward to having these on vinyl officially. I had some of the unofficial bootlegs. I actually have all of them on unofficial bootleg. But it's nice to have an official version, and it's remixed and remastered and all that stuff. So this definitely had to make it. This was a great thrill to have this year. Similarly, number 4, Van Halen. Now, I missed the box set. The box set came out. I really wanted the box set. The second box set I really only needed this and Balance, and I wasted too much. I waited too long, and the box set disappeared. Totally gone, and it's expensive now. So I was thrilled when they reissued this. Now, I would have been just as fine if they had not released this deluxe edition with CDs and all that stuff for a hefty price. I would have been fine if it's just a single album like they did with the Black Sabbath and like they're doing with all the other box sets that have come out. I would have been fine with just a, maybe double record set of this. But it is what it is, and I picked up for Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, and it was great to have. So I got an unofficial copy of Balance, but I do need an official copy, and then I basically will have them all. Up number 3, Widowmaker. And I don't know why they jumped the gun and didn't do the first album. Probably my favorite of the 2 Widowmaker albums. This is Dee Snider's band after Twisted Sister. This is an excellent album. The first album is more straightforward metal. This one's a little more of an alternative feel. Absolutely excellent album. They're just they feel like 2 totally different albums. They both got Dee's his familiar voice on it, so they're great. I saw Dee Snider and his little SMF band, which is doing Twisted Sister covers, shortly after this album came out. So I was able to pick up the CD of this at his show I don't know if it was autographed or not. But anyway, so yeah, having this musical vinyl, release this on vinyl. I need to double check and make sure they didn't do the other one already since then or whatever. But was so thrilled to have this because I really love the 2 Widowmaker albums that have come out. Number 2 is, it's not really a box set. It's Y&T's Unearthed Volume 1 and 2. It's 4 albums because each one of the CDs that came out were packed to the brim with songs. And these are unreleased songs. I say demos because they kind of are, but they all sound top notch. They're not like, they're not rough, put a tape recorder in your room and play type demos. These are really nice sounding songs. And I've had the CDs since they came out. So when Night of the Vinyl Dead put these out as 2 double record sets in a sleeve, I was super thrilled. The 500 copies of this, had to jump on this. Was super thrilled to have this because it's just like having 2 double Y&T new albums with songs that are just as great as the other stuff they did. And it's from all different eras of their time. So absolutely phenomenal little set there. And number 1 was the reissue of One by Neal Morse. Neal Morse reissued One and Question Mark, both of which top releases. This one edged it out a little bit, only because this is one of his earlier albums that I really got into back in the day, and just absolutely love it. So he's going back and reissuing some of this older stuff on vinyl, and I am so thrilled. Hopefully they'll continue, and we'll see some more of the stuff in between that's not been on vinyl. That's one of the reissues. That's my top reissue of the year, though, is getting some more Neal Morse on vinyl. So there you go. What kind of reissues did you buy? I really should focus more on trying to buy newer bands, but I'm still filling my collection with old music or reissues and stuff. So whatever, it is what it is. That's it for this one. No, thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Rock on and rock hard.